What if I told you that somewhere in America, there's a woman who can see 100 million colors more than any human?
I've been told that you see gray mostly in a shadow. Well, shadows are fabulous. I see emerald greens, I see magentas, I see lilacs, I see blues.
Or a man who became a piano maestro after a lightning struck him.
And the first thing that I noticed was that I had this insatiable desire to hear classical piano music.
Well, here are 12 of the world's rarest people living in the United States, starting with Alice Elizabeth Doherty, the only American born with werewolf syndrome. Our first story takes us back to 1887 Minneapolis, where Alice Elizabeth Doherty was born as the only documented person in United States history with congenital hypertrichosis lanuginosa, a condition so rare it's often called werewolf syndrome. Born covered from head to toe in approximately 2 inches of silky blonde hair everywhere except her palms, soles, and mucous membranes, Alice's condition was extraordinary. With only about 50 documented cases worldwide since the Middle Ages, it translates to an incidence rate of roughly 1 in 1 billion. Her father, recognizing both financial struggles and his daughter's unique appearance, made the difficult decision to exhibit Alice as a sideshow attraction, starting when she was just 2 years old. She became known as the Minnesota Woolly Girl, with promotional materials describing her as bright as a silver dollar. Congenital hypertrichosis lanuginosa results from genetic mutations that disrupt normal hair follicle regulation during fetal development. By age 5, Alice's hair had grown to about 5 inches, reaching up to 9 inches during her teenage years. Alice reportedly never enjoyed the spotlight, viewing her exhibitions as a necessity to support her family. After retiring from performing in 1915 at age 28, she lived quietly until her death from bronchial pneumonia in 1933 at age 46. She never married or had children, and hypertrichosis itself does not shorten lifespan. Conchetta Antico, the tetrachromat artist who sees 100 million colors. In San Diego, California, Conchetta Antico creates impressionist paintings that burst with colors most of us literally cannot see. This Australian-born artist has become one of the most scientifically fascinating individuals in America due to her confirmed condition of functional tetrachromacy, allowing her to perceive up to 100 million colors.
She's been diagnosed with tetrachromacy, in other words, supervision. Just last year, a genetic test done by Dr. Jay Nietzsche at the University of Washington confirmed she has the building blocks for 4 photoreceptors in her eye. Most of us have 3, and for her that results in 100 million shades of color.
Tetrachromacy stems from having 4 types of cone cells in the retina, compared to the standard 3. While estimates suggest 15 to 47% of women worldwide might have the genetic potential for tetrachromacy, functional tetrachromacy is exceedingly rare.
I've been told that you see gray mostly in a shadow. Well, shadows are fabulous. I see emerald greens, I see magentas, I see lilacs, I see blues.
Conchetta's extraordinary vision was discovered in 2012 when she noticed her students couldn't match the colors she saw. Her daughter's colorblindness provided a crucial clue, since female carriers of colorblindness genes can be tetrachromats. Genetic testing by Dr. Jay Knights confirmed her genotype, revealing 4 distinct photopigments. Dr. Knights described her as a perfect storm of nature and nurture.
My world speaks to me very strongly, and it comes, and then I can't wait to paint it.
She truly does see a world, a beautiful world, so much different than most of us.
The impact on her daily life is profound. She sees rainbows in white walls, purples in shadows, and intricate patterns in everyday objects.
Grocery store is like torture.
However, she runs a gallery in La Jolla and creates NFTs, using her unique vision to help others see more of the world's hidden beauty. Her rarity lies in being potentially the only confirmed functional tetrachromat artist in the United States. Eric Kilburn Jr., the teenager with record-breaking hands and feet in Goodrich, Michigan, lives a 16-year-old who has literally outgrown the world around him. Eric Kilburn Jr. stands 6 feet 11 inches tall and holds 2 Guinness World Records for having the largest hands and feet of any teenager alive.
My name is Eric Kilburn, and I have the world's largest hands and feet on a teenager. The doctor delivering me, he was an elderly doctor, and he told my parents in all his years of delivering babies, he has never seen a baby with feet and hands as big as mine.
Eric's feet measure 13.50 inches, requiring US men's size 23 shoes, while his hands span 9.13 inches from wrist to fingertip. The average shoe size for adult men in the US is 10.5, making his size 23 extraordinary.
I've always known I've had bigger feet and hands. I mean, I've been taller and bigger than every kid. since I was in preschool.
Well, our family is quite larger than your average.
What makes Eric's case remarkable is that he has no diagnosed medical condition causing his growth. Unlike most individuals with similar proportions who have hormonal imbalances, Eric's case appears to be pure genetic variation.
I had been wearing size 22. I started to grow out of them. We made hundreds, if not thousands of calls, asking different shoe corporations or different shoe companies, can you make a shoe this big? A lot of them said, you have to be a collegiate or professional athlete. Sorry, we can't help you.
By 5th grade, Eric could no longer buy shoes off the shelf, forcing reliance on expensive custom orthotics, costing over $1,500 per pair. His mother's public appeal for help went viral, drawing support from major brands. Basketball legend Shaquille O'Neal personally called Eric and sent him sneakers. Eric's mother founded the Big Shoe Network, a nonprofit helping others with oversized clothing challenges. As the Guinness record holder, he is literally one in billions among teenagers worldwide. Esperance Luminesca Fuerzina, the most tattooed woman alive. Meet Esperance Luminesca Fuerzina, a 36-year-old retired U.S. Army veteran from Bridgeport, Connecticut, who has transformed her body into a moving canvas through extensive tattoos and modifications, earning her 2 Guinness World Records.
The percentage of my body covered in tattoos is 99.98%. Probably one of the riskiest mods I have is the sclera tattooing. That was a pretty intense modification. I've also done ink staining in my tongue and my gums, as well as splitting my tongue, obviously.
Nesca has 99.98% of her skin covered in tattoos and has undergone 89 body modifications, surpassing the previous female. Record of 49 modifications. Her tattoos extend to hands, feet, scalp, eyelids, eyeballs, tongue, gums, and genitals. She grew up in a military family and served in the U.S. Army as a medical service officer. Her transformation began at age 21 with a small tattoo, evolving over the next decade.
I sort of liked body art being this collection of memories that I could take with me anywhere. I've been pretty nomadic in my life and didn't add any extra space in my pack, and I felt like I could have this art with me wherever I went. Initially, I didn't plan on having so many, but life being an evolution, I ended up being this way.
Her 89 body modifications include a split tongue injected with different colored inks, 15 subdermal implants creating scale-like ridges, facial piercings, 18 genital piercings, and nipple removal.
The deeper meanings of my body art and look tends to be about evolving through life and kind of the process of converting darkness to light, so to speak, in terms of experiences. I think my experiences are deeply personal, so in terms of the art, it's not so much to tell other people about those experiences, but as a reminder to myself of what I've lived through.
Her records were verified in Tijuana, Mexico on September 22, 2023. While average US tattoo coverage is under 20% among enthusiasts, extreme modifications like eyeball tattooing are performed on fewer than 1 in a million individuals globally. She advocates for kindness and acceptance, emphasizing that her extreme appearance doesn't define her character. Nick Vujicic, born without limbs, living without limits. Among the most inspiring stories of human resilience is Nick Vujicic, born with tetra amelia syndrome, an extremely rare congenital disorder characterized by the complete absence of all 4 limbs. Born December 4, 1982, in Melbourne, Australia, Nick was diagnosed with this condition documented in only a few dozen families worldwide. Tetra amelia syndrome is caused by mutations in the WNT3 or RSPO2 genes, which disrupt embryonic limb development. The condition has an estimated prevalence of less than 1 in 1,000,000 people. The syndrome's frequency is at least 30 times higher among stillbirths than live births, making viable survivors like Vujicic exceptionally uncommon.
I couldn't just one day wake up and say, hey, give me arms and legs, I need arms and legs. And I started believing that I was not good enough. I started believing that I was a failure, that I'd never ever be somebody who people would like or people would accept. And it was so hard, man.
Nick faced severe bullying, depression, and attempted suicide at age 10, but with family support and deepening faith, began giving inspirational talks at age 17. He graduated with a commerce degree and founded Life Without Limbs.
There are some things in life that are out of your control that you can't change and you gotta live with. The choice that we have, though, is either to give up or keep on going.
Despite having one small partial foot with 2 toes, he has adapted to write, type, swim, and surf. He has authored best-selling books, spoken in over 70 countries, and starred in award-winning films. In 2003, he moved to the United States, gaining dual citizenship and residing in Collin County, Texas. He married Kane Miyahara in 2012, and they have 4 healthy children.
It should be impossible for me to get back up, but it's not.
In the US population of 330 million, individuals with tetra amelia number in the low dozens at most. Known US cases include Vujicic, a boy named Daniel, and a girl named Maria. His story represents the ultimate triumph of human spirit over seemingly impossible circumstances. Kyle Maynard, the quadruple amputee who climbs mountains. Born March 24, 1986, Kyle Maynard was diagnosed with congenital amputation, where amniotic bands prevented proper limb development during fetal growth. He was born without arms below the elbows and legs below the knees, making him a quadruple amputee from birth.
I've been an athlete my entire life. Football to wrestling to weightlifting and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and now most recently taking on climbing some of the highest mountains in the world. I was born with congenital amputation, so it basically means my arms end at the elbows, my legs end at the knees.
General limb reduction defects occur in about 1 in 1,869 live births, but quadruple involvement is exponentially rarer, estimated at fewer than 1 in 100,000 births globally. Raised by parents who instilled a no excuses philosophy, Kyle learned to perform tasks independently, without prosthetics. He started with youth football and transitioned to wrestling, compiling a 35-16 record and placing 12th in the Georgia State tournament.
You know, I think some people, they look at me and maybe even feel sorry for me, but really, truthfully, my life doesn't look a whole lot different than yours. You know, I type on my computer the same way.
In 2004, he earned the ESPN ESPI Award and was inducted into the National Wrestling Hall of Fame. He set a world record bench pressing 240 pounds 23 times. His 2005 autobiography became a New York Times bestseller.
My first experience with climbing, really anything of significance, was in a CrossFit competition in 2010. The first workout was you had to do a 1,000-meter row in this rowing machine in a sprint up Stone Mountain. Everybody else did it in maybe 25 minutes. It took me an hour and 46 minutes. I tore all the skin up on my arms, but I got to the top and I was like, wow, this is breathtakingly beautiful.
Kyle's greatest achievement came in 2012 when he became the first quadruple amputee to summit Mount Kilimanjaro without prosthetics, bear crawling the final stretches. He repeated this in 2016 by summiting Mount Aconcagua, the highest peak in the Western Hemisphere.
Getting to a place that there's no way my wheelchair could have brought me there, that's what I love.
Kyle founded No Excuses CrossFit Gym and owns Rise Up Nutrition. In the US population, individuals with congenital quadruple amputations number in the low dozens at most, making Kyle's survival to adulthood and achievements exceptionally uncommon. Damian Omler, the only person with his genetic condition. In San Diego, California, lives a young boy whose genetic condition is so rare that he is literally the only known case worldwide. Damian Omler was born in 2009 and diagnosed with GET4-CDG, a unique form of congenital disorders of glycosylation, making him possibly the rarest person on Earth. CDG encompasses over 150 inherited metabolic disorders caused by defects in the glycosylation pathway, where enzymes fail to add sugar molecules to proteins essential for cellular function. Damian's specific mutation involves the GET4 gene, which encodes a protein responsible for guiding proteins to their correct cellular locations. While CDG affects approximately 1 in 100,000 births globally, Damian's variant is a unique mutation not observed in any other patient. Despite global searches by experts like Dr. Hudson Freeze, no similar cases have been identified. Damian's diagnostic journey began when he missed developmental milestones in his first year. By age 3, Dr. Bruce Barshop identified a general glycosylation disorder, but pinpointing the exact mutation took nearly a decade. Confirmation came in August 2018 via NIH testing, officially naming it GET4-CDG. Damian's symptoms profoundly shape his daily life. He has severe hypertonia, relies on a wheelchair, cannot walk independently, and requires assistance with daily tasks. He experiences seizures, uses a gastronomy tube for nutrition, and communicates non-verbally. Despite these challenges, Damian is described as a superstar who loves rock music and is nearly always laughing. His family adapted significantly. Gracie quit her job in 2010 to provide full-time care, while Donnie works as a CVS manager. They attend International Rare Disease Day events, mentoring other families. Through organizations like CDG Care and Sanford Burnham Preebies, Damien's story raises awareness. His DNA contributes directly to advancing CDG research, emphasizing the need for personalized genomics. In a nation of 330 million people, Damien stands alone with his genetic profile, making him not just one of the rarest Americans, but a beacon for understanding human genetics. Roy Sullivan, the human lightning rod. In the Chronicles of Statistical Impossibility, no story is quite as electrifying as Roy Cleveland Sullivan, a Virginia park ranger who survived 7 documented lightning strikes between 1942 and 1977. Known as the human lightning rod, Sullivan's repeated encounters represent an extraordinarily rare phenomenon. Born February 7, 1912, in Greene County, Virginia, Sullivan began his career as a ranger in Shenandoah National Park in 1936. His role involved extensive time outdoors, factors that increased lightning exposure. The statistical impossibility of Sullivan's experiences defies comprehension. In the US, approximately 40 to 50 people die yearly from lightning strikes with a 90% survival rate. The odds of a single lifetime strike are 1 in 15,300, with annual odds less than 1 in 1,922,000. For 7 strikes, odds have been estimated at 415 x 10 more 31, far rarer than winning lotteries. Sullivan's strikes were documented by Shenandoah National Park Superintendent R. Taylor Hoskins. Each involved millions of volts and approximately 20,000 amps, yet Sullivan survived due to indirect paths. The strikes created a terrifying pattern. First in April 1942 in a fire lookout tower, burning his leg. Second in July 1969 while driving, knocking him unconscious. Continuing through 1970, 1972, 1973, 1976, and finally 1977 while fishing. Sullivan often described sensory warnings like hair bristling before strikes. After his 4th strike, he believed a supernatural force was targeting him. He carried water in his car and installed over a dozen lightning rods on his home. Despite surviving the strikes, Sullivan faced psychological tolls and social isolation. People avoided him, fearing proximity might attract lightning. Tragically, Sullivan died by suicide on September 28, 1983, reportedly due to unrequited love and depression. Guinness World Records recognizes him as the record holder, with no verified cases exceeding this number. Sullivan's legacy represents the ultimate statistical anomaly in American history. Jason Paget, the salesman who became a mathematical genius. On September 13, 2002, Jason Paget was an ordinary futon salesman from Tacoma, Washington, living a carefree party lifestyle. Before his traumatic brain injury, he had dropped out of college after struggling with pre-algebra and described himself as a party guy. By morning, he had become one of fewer than 50 people worldwide with acquired savant syndrome. The attack occurred when Paget was viciously assaulted outside a karaoke bar. As he described it, "I heard as much as felt this deep, low-pitched thud as the first guy ran up behind me and smashed me in the back of the head, and I saw this puff of white light." The assailants kicked him repeatedly before fleeing, leaving Paget with a severe concussion. In the aftermath, Paget developed severe PTSD, OCD, and agoraphobia, isolating himself for over 3 years. He nailed blankets over windows and obsessively cleaned to avoid germs. However, an astonishing transformation emerged. Paget began perceiving the world mathematically, seeing discrete picture frames with connecting lines. Curved objects appeared pixelated. Water flowed in tangent lines. Everyday scenes revealed intricate fractals and geometric patterns. This altered vision unlocked intuitive grasp of advanced mathematics, including pi visualized as overlapping triangles and quantum mechanics concepts. Without training, he started hand-drawing complex fractals, producing thousands of sketches he believed held the key to the universe. Paget was diagnosed with acquired savant syndrome by Dr. Darold Treffert. Brain scans revealed unusual activity. His visual cortex interfaced with mathematical processing areas. Acquired savant syndrome differs from congenital savantism by emerging suddenly after brain trauma without prior exceptional skills. Worldwide, only about 50 cases have been documented, representing just 10% of all savant cases. In the US population of 330 million, this translates to potentially fewer than 20 to 30 known cases. In 2014, he co-authored Struck by Genius: How a Brain Injury Made Me a Mathematical Marvel, with Sony Pictures acquiring film rights. He now sells fractal artwork and gives TEDx talks, viewing the attack as a gift. Derek Amato, the piano virtuoso, created by concussion. Derek Amato's transformation from corporate sales professional to musical savant represents one of the most documented cases of acquired musical ability in medical history. A 58-year-old composer and pianist from Colorado, Derek developed acquired musical savant syndrome following a 2006 traumatic brain injury, making him one of fewer than 50 documented cases globally.
I had never touched a piano. I was a regular kid. I played baseball and chased girls, like boys do. I dove into a swimming pool 9.5 years ago to catch a football, and I hit my head in the shallow end of the pool.
Born November 19, 1966, Derek pursued corporate sales, achieving a six-figure income by his late 30s. He had casual guitar experience, but no piano skills. On October 27, 2006, he dove into a shallow pool, striking his forehead on concrete.
Basically, when I got back from the hospital, I slept for 5 days. On the 5th day, I woke up, and that's when I walked up to the piano. It was dusty. I knew nothing of it, how to play it.
He suffered a severe concussion with 35% permanent hearing loss and memory impairment.
And I was just hoping to hit a couple notes, and that's when my hands just kind of went crazy and I was playing fluid. It was instant. There was no building up or rehearsing or practicing.
Derek's acquired savant syndrome manifests through remarkable synesthesia.
Since I woke up with the immediate ability to play the piano, I see these non-stop geometrical squares that go left to right in my mind's eye. And it's not repetitive music going in a circle, just like one song. Each one of these squares maybe have a lot of notes to each square rather than just one note.
However, the condition includes significant downsides.
I've had extreme migraines since my accident, loss of hearing, memory loss, light and sound sensitivity. I've always thought there's nothing in this world that can make you feel like you don't want to be on this earth. Sometimes the headaches are so bad, I'm almost begging to just not even have to be alive to deal with it.
Derek was diagnosed by Dr. Daryl Treffert, the leading expert on acquired savant syndrome.
It's about a 1 in 100 million chance that somebody's going to go have a head injury and have some kind of acquired savant skills.
Musical acquired savants are a subset of an already rare condition. Derek is often cited as having the most profound, instantaneous piano mastery post-trauma. As of 2025, Derek continues composing and advocating. Anthony Sikoria, the lightning strike that created a composer. In 1994, Dr. Anthony Sikoria was a successful 42-year-old orthopedic surgeon living an ordinary life. Born in 1952 in Oneonta, New York, Tony had built a respected medical career but harbored no particular passion for classical music. That changed in a single electrifying moment.
In 1994, third week in August, my wife had a party, which she has every year, for her family, because there's so many people with birthdays in August, and so we would have a communal birthday party. This year she decided to have it at the Sleepy Hollow Lake in Athens, New York.
While using a payphone during a family gathering at Sleepy Hollow Lake, Sikoria was struck by lightning exiting the phone receiver.
What I was not aware of is that a huge thunderhead had formed over the lake, and it was completely unbeknownst to me. And when I had the phone next to my ear and I started to take it away to hang it up, suddenly I saw this huge flash of light comes out of the phone and hits me in the face, and I hear this incredibly loud crack.
The lightning strike stopped his heart and caused a profound near-death experience.
And all of a sudden I was confronted with myself on the ground. And I remember looking down at this body and I thought, oh shit, I'm dead.
A nearby intensive care nurse performed CPR, reviving him. Initially, he recovered with minor burns and returned to work within weeks.
And the first thing that I noticed was that I had this insatiable desire to hear classical piano music, which was a big departure for me. I was a kid of the 60s. I liked rock and roll, and there really wasn't much of anything else.
About 2 weeks later, he developed an intense craving for classical piano music despite having no prior interest. This led him to purchase sheet music, teach himself piano, and begin composing original pieces.
And that very week that the piano shows up, I have a dream. And in this dream, I'm walking out onto a stage of a big theater and I'm giving a concert, a piano concert.
Lightning strikes affect about 300–500 people annually in the US, with 90% survival rate, but only 10 to 20% experience profound neurological changes. Global estimates for acquired savant syndrome hover at just 50–75 documented cases ever. Fewer than 5 to 10 lightning-induced savant cases have been reported historically.
And he looks at me dead in the eye and he says, "The music from the dream went through an awful lot of trouble to get here. The least you can do is write it."
By 2008, he had debuted as a pianist and composer, releasing notes from an accidental pianist and composer. He collaborated with neurologist Oliver Sacks, who documented his case in Musicophilia.
And the music continues to download into my brain. I don't know where it comes from, but it's not a new phenomenon.
Sikoria continues balancing his surgical practice with music, describing how the music continues to download into his brain from an unknown source. Lisa Alamia, the Texas mom who woke up British. Our final story takes us to Texas, where a routine medical procedure resulted in one of the most bewildering neurological transformations imaginable. Lisa Alamia, a 33-year-old mother of 3 from Rosenberg, Texas, underwent jaw surgery in December to fix an overbite. When she woke up, this lifelong Texan spoke with what appeared to be a perfect British accent.
Lisa Alamia sure sounds like she's from London, but she's never even been there.
I've never been to England. I've never been to any European country, actually.
Lisa was diagnosed with foreign accent syndrome, a rare neurological disorder that has affected fewer than 100 people worldwide in the last century.
Houston Methodist Sugar Land Hospital says in the last 100 years, less than 100 people worldwide get this rare disorder known as foreign accent syndrome.
This isn't me. This doesn't sound like me. I don't want this. Why did it happen to me? Just asking why.
Foreign accent syndrome typically results from damage to brain areas controlling speech and language, often following strokes, traumatic brain injuries, or surgical procedures. Lisa's neurologist, Dr. Toby Yoltho, conducted extensive testing to rule out psychiatric causes.
People who don't know me, "Oh, where are you from?" "I'm from Rosenberg." "Oh, where's that?" I'm like, "We're here in Rosenberg." "Oh, you're from here. How do you talk like that?" So that's when the whole story comes up.
Lisa underwent speech therapy to try to regain her original accent.
I'm trying to pick up an American accent, so for somebody to say, "You don't sound British," to me it's a compliment. Thank you, because it shows me that what I'm doing is working.
In a country of over 330 million people, having fewer than 100 documented cases worldwide in the past century makes foreign accent syndrome extraordinarily rare. Click on one of the cards on your screen to see more videos like this.